The Wizard Priest. Dragonspeaker Chronicles, Book 2. Written by Patty Jansen. Narrated by Genevieve Lerner. Chapter 1. If this were a legend, she who rides dragons would be an armor-clad heroine sitting on top of her fire-breathing steed, striking fear into the hearts of villains and bringing justice to all the citizens of the city. But it was not a legend, and the only fear was in Nellie's own heart, and in particular, a practical fear she might fall off. In fact, she'd barely managed to clamber onto the dragon's back when it had leapt from the back steps of the palace into the darkness of the night. When it unfolded huge wings under her, she'd managed to grab onto the part where they joined the body, and all she could do was hang on for her life, while the shouts of the people in the backyard of the palace kitchen receded. Her kitchen apron was definitely an inferior type of armor. It didn't even protect her against the biting cold wind. She had no weapons either, not that she could have used them if she did. So, here she was, hanging onto the dragon's back, seeing the few meager street lamp lights of the city of Saardam underneath her. She had no idea which part of town this was, only that it was a long way down there, and she did not want to fall. None of this was heroic. To make matters worse, the little kitten had come along for the ride, and it was now terrified, hanging onto her side while digging its claws into her skin. She very much wanted to pull it off her dress and stick it in her pocket, but that meant letting go of one of the dragon's wings, and that option was even less attractive. Where was the dragon going? What if it dumped her in a forest where she had no idea how to get home? And if she managed not to fall off and make it safely to the ground, what if bandits who roamed the fields outside the city captured her? What if they stole her clothes and let her roam naked in the forest in the snow, as had happened to some poor farmers not long ago? But none of that happened. The dragon, after having gained height, merely circled over the city. Nellie sat in between the shoulder blades and hung onto a comb-like thing on its back. It was peaceful up here, if you didn't think about falling. The houses were so small, and if people on the ground were shouting, she couldn't hear it. She patted the dragon's neck. "Can you please put me down?" The dragon had never displayed signs of understanding her and didn't react. It continued to circle. Nellie said again, "Please put me down. I'm cold." Her face was almost too numb to speak. How did one talk to a dragon? Nellie had no magic. The dragon's box was in the bag she held on her back, but it held no instructions on how to talk to the dragon or how to get it back into the box. Her notion that the dragon had come back because she wanted it to seemed ridiculous. One did not tell a magical creature what to do, unless one was also a magician. But she needed to get off. She might get too cold to hold on. Already her hands hurt. Suddenly, the dragon made a sharp turn. Nellie gasped and glided down. It snorted and blew sparks from its nostrils. What was it doing? But then Nellie spotted another glow over the city. From a distance, it looked like a bonfire, but it moved. "What is that thing?" The dragon only replied with another snort of sparks. She wished it wouldn't do that. It might set her dress on fire. "Are you afraid of it?" Obviously, because it was flying lower and lower, over a part of the city where streetlights were sparse. Now she feared that it would crash into something. How could it see anything in this darkness? Or it would land on a roof and fall through, or leave her stranded there, unable to get down. She would freeze to death. That would be a terrible thing. She patted the dragon's neck again. "Please land somewhere in the street so I can walk back." Walk back where? She couldn't go back to the palace after all those guards had seen her take off with the dragon. By now, her name would be on the most wanted list. Magician. Killer. The dragon flew lower and lower, skirting
Sample complete. Ready to continue?